This week, I'm going to teach you how to deal with that kind of bitchy voice that you've got in your head. Happy Friday. How are you today? Have you had a good week? I've had a really good week. I've been totally outside my comfort zone, um, didn't die, and survived. And every time you go out of your comfort zone, you actually gain a self-confidence on the other side. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today, I want to talk to you about this bitchy voice that you've got in your head. And I just want to remind you, you are not unique here. If you've got a voice, if I know that you have a voice in your head that really likes to judge you, it really likes to criticize you, compare you to everybody else, belittle you. And the reason I know you have it is because I have it. And my voice will talk to me in a way that I would not dream of talking to another human. And it sounds like, oh, you are pathetic. You are so pathetic. Look at you. You're pathetic. And I used to believe this voice. When it told me I was being pathetic, I used to believe it. And I can assure you that when you believe that sentence, it does not make you feel very nice. It makes you feel shit. I don't believe that voice anymore. I don't actually believe I'm pathetic. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't always believe I'm amazing either. Um, but what I don't do anymore is I don't allow myself to hurt me. And it kind of sounds like this in my head. So the voice will start, oh my God, you're doing it wrong. They're doing it right. Look at you. You're pathetic. And so now when I hear that voice, I acknowledge it. So this is the first step is ABC. You acknowledge that voice. You're like, oh, thank you for your opinion. You acknowledge it. It's there. It's happening. You hear it in your head. The fact that you can hear it means it's not you. I just want to point that out. I know that's a bit trippy, but the fact that you can hear it means it's not you. Every single human on the planet has this voice in their head that talks to them. And most of the time, because our primitive part of our brain is negative, that voice will be negative. So this isn't you. You're not unique or different. Every human has this voice. So acknowledge it, listen to it. Oh, what have you got to tell me? Say, oh, that's interesting. You think I'm pathetic. Thank you. And then the second thing is to breathe. So A, acknowledge, B, breathe. Just take a nice deep breath. Okay. And then understand, of course, you're turning up. This has been my programming. This is what I've done for the last 46 years of my life. Of course, you're coming with your opinion. Not a problem. And then C is to consciously respond, consciously decide. So then I respond to it with, but we don't do that anymore. Or that's really not an acceptable way to talk to myself. Like if someone was talking at your child in such a disdainful tone of voice, you might be kind of inclined to go, excuse me, that's not appropriate. If they continue, then probably what you're going to do is go, I'm not engaging with you, mate. We're leaving. And you would probably pick your child up and leave. This is the option you have internally as well. When you're looking after you, when you've got your own back, you can have that internal dialogue with yourself. And it can sound like that is not an acceptable way. We don't do that anymore. We used to, we don't do that anymore. You don't want to get aggressive because aggression, meeting aggression, you're going to just end up in a big old argument in your head. That's pointless. But with assertiveness and with a kindness, you can go, hey, That is not acceptable anymore. We don't do that anymore. And then consciously decide what you're going to say to yourself. And this is going to depend on the situation, but it might sound like, I can figure this out. It might sound like, I've got you. Or it might sound like, feeling this way is okay. This is not a problem. So these are the steps that you get to take when that voice is trying to beat you up. A, acknowledge it and listen. B, breathe and understand. C, consciously think something different. Consciously respond. Consciously decide what you want to do on purpose, deliberately, in a way that just makes you feel a bit better. Because that voice isn't speaking the truth. It's like a cloud. Imagine you're sat in the garden, it's a nice sunny day, and there's a cloud, and you're just watching this gentle cloud drift through the sky. Or maybe it's a really dark, nasty grey cloud, and you're just watching it drift through the sky. Like you would watch that cloud go past and let it go. It might make you feel a bit chilly as it goes over the sun, but then you watch it and the sun comes out and it disappears. You can do that with your thoughts. You have 60 to 70,000 of them a day. Like you're not necessarily going to be able to do this process with every sort of thought, but the thought is only a problem when you attach yourself to it. When you consciously go, oh, that's one that's got to be true, but none of them are true. We're always making stuff up. Our brain is making stuff up. That's what the human brain does. So you can just watch them coming across the sky and let it go. So try this for yourself today. And if you really struggle, then please get in touch because this is, I think, one of my most amazing superpowers is being able to very lovingly point out the thoughts that your brain is giving you that you think is a fact. Like, I will very lovingly call out your bullshit. And the amazing thing about understanding that your thoughts aren't true is that then you're free to decide. There is a freedom to actually choose how you want to think and feel. And that's amazing. So if you've liked what you've heard today, please make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any other things that I put out into the world. And if you think there's someone, if you've got a friend that's always beating herself up, send this to her so she gets to listen. And maybe when you send it to her, you could just say, hey, is your voice anything like mine? Because we all think that it's only us that this is happening to, but it's happening to every single one of us. Have an amazing week.